Welcome back to another edition of the BlackGold-TexasTee show, where we celebrate culture, uplift truth, and explore the richness of real life, one story at a time. I'm your host, Sweet Tea. You know, some call me Texas Tea, and that's always just fine with me. And today's episode is one that is of celebration, reflection, and deep wisdom. We're diving into a big and wonderful conversation about beauty. Not the kind that fades, but the kind that grows with time. Our guest is someone who embodies grace from the inside out. At a very wonderful age, Eula Davis is launching her new book, Beyond the Beauty, a timely and powerful message about self care that reaches beyond the mirror and into the soul. In a world obsessed with appearances, Eula Davis challenges us to redefine what it truly means to care about ourselves emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and purposefully. So if you've ever felt pressure to look a certain way, or if you've been searching for a deeper connection to your own worth, your wellness, or your walk within purpose, this conversation is for you. With years of lived experience, insight, and God given grace, Eula Davis speaks directly to women and men of all ages, reminding us that beauty is something we put, not just something we put on, but rather something that we live from within. I'm honored to welcome her to the show and talk about her journey, her message, and what it means to embrace every chapter of life fully and fearlessly. So get ready to be inspired, encouraged, and reminded that beauty starts within. Welcome to the show, Eula Davis, and happy birthday, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you. Happy belated birthday to you
that's
too. The
listen,
end of
I
the month.
told you I'd hold the door open for you. You just come right on in. It's a great time. Listen, I'm so excited for you, Eula. This is quite an accomplishment and quite the birthday present to launch your book all at the same time. And I received the foreword that you had written for the book, and I
Uh-huh.
really would like to share that with our listeners. And then I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about what inspired you to write Beyond the Beauty. It's
Absolutely.
Beyond the Beauty is a sacred reflection of God's divine power, transforming pain into purpose, chaos into peace, brokenness into strength, revealing beauty even in life's hardest battles. That by itself is quite the platform. And I already know that that's going to touch so many people. But tell us, what inspired you to put such a beautiful piece together?
I've gone through so much in my life, emotional trauma. And I have always been able to relate to women who have gone through some situations, challenges, issues that seem to um, block their progress and to suppress them and hold them down. But I came to realize that it wasn't really situations that we, um, me and other women, were going through. But if you dig a little deeper, it is the self trauma that we go through from emotionally distracted relationships and situations that were just not good for us. But we suppress them and we keep going. We
Mhm.
never really analyze or go into depth on dealing with those issues, and they compound each other. And we constantly relive those situations with other people. So,
Mhm.
as I began to analyze my own life, I looked at what I was going through and what I continuously went through. It was a pattern. And journaling helped me to see the pattern. So, with that in mind, I began to write what's really going on and what's behind it all. And from that, the book was born.
That's awesome. You know, what I hear you saying that you didn't say out loud necessarily is that what I believe too is everything that we go through is always on purpose and has purpose. And while we're going through it, we may not realize what it is. But I love that you've taken, even though as you were going through it, you may not have known as you were going through it, but the Lord was building you to share this with all of us who may have similar challenges and to help us to see what's beyond the beauty.
Yes.
When you think about that, what would you say was like a turning point for you or a personal experience that shifted you from just checking and writing down your thoughts to really saying this needs to be something to be said to others for encouragement?
I realized after my last relationship, and that relationship ended in 2022. After that last relationship, I clearly saw the pattern.
Mm.
I clearly saw what I kept repeating over and over and over and over again in relationships. And when I saw what I was putting myself through, I said to myself, I will never allow you to experience this again. That relationship, although looking at it from the outside, everybody thought, oh, you're such a wonderful couple. Everything looks great. But on the inside, it was so much pain and so much disturbance. And I knew it. And God kept telling me, it's time to exit. But I kept telling me, well, I can fix it. You can fix it. You can fix it. And you can't fix it. You can't fix another person. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. Second of all, while you're fixing them, you're breaking yourself. And I realized at that point that I had silenced my own voice. I had minimized my own feelings. And I just looked at everything like, well, isn't this what women are supposed to do? You're supposed to support your man and you're supposed to always be there. And they're the voice. And see, that came from years of me watching how my mother was treated by my father. And it also, surprisingly, Teresa, came from church teachings. The women are supposed to be silent. Wow. And the men, they're the head. So if they say it, then you follow it. So, yeah, no.
That's really interesting. Well, listen, now, you know, I didn't get that part. Coming from a family of a whole bunch of women, I don't know if they decided we'd have a different story, but there are pros and cons to all of it because all of us are a culmination of things that we have experienced, things that we've been taught, and things that we've seen with our own lives and our own journey. So even though we've each maybe had some different things that we were taught, what we're taught and what we observe certainly plays a large part in what we become. And I'll tell you a quick story and I'll make it really quick. But I remember as a Mary Kay consultant, I was at a leadership conference one time and we've often said, that our Father in heaven loves us as a father loves his children.
Right.
Right? Well, in this conference of leadership women, there was this one woman was like, yeah, okay, well, I'm good with that, because we really couldn't get, she was like, yeah, I'm not really. And we started to kind of question her and come to find out Her father and all of her brothers were ministers,
Wow. I was going to say that.
but her father and
Mm-hmm.
all of her brothers raped her. So, from
Mm.
her experience and having that as her only point of reference to a father,
Wow.
in her
Wow.
mind, she was saying, "Okay, if that's what God got, I'm good. I don't need that."
Wow.
And
Wow.
it took us working with her, praying for her, and I'm sure much more beyond that counsel to
Mm-hmm.
recognize that all of us are still human.
Right.
Fortunately, some of us
Mm-hmm.
misuse the word and the leadership of God and misdirect. And so we have to
Mm-hmm.
be very, very careful
Mm-hmm.
about those things. But as we know better, we do better, right?
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm.
So as you're thinking about the various things, and I'm not saying that anyone has done anything necessarily wrong. What I'm saying really is we are a culmination of what we've learned. And at some point in our lives, it's imperative that we start to look at what we've learned if it is not providing us with some type of solid foundation. Look at what we've learned and maybe ask some questions about it
Right.
to understand more for yourself. Even the word of God says, study to show
To show
thyself
thyself
approved,
approved.
right?
Right.
What is
Mm.
rightly divided in the word of God, because we don't want just listen, the enemy can bring us some stuff. And so we got to be ready to kind of question some things and pray about some things and be sure that what we're doing is truly exhibiting what God has given us. In so
Right.
doing and thinking about all of that, would you say that writing the book and using your voice provided a form of self-care for you?
I would definitely say that just going through the book and analyzing the information that was me, it was almost like doing
Mm.
an autopsy on my heart, an
Okay.
autopsy on my emotions. What caused the death? And when I dug a little deeper and even a little deeper, it was painful. This book took about 9 years to write. Some of the stuff I had to stop and breathe, and I had to walk away because I saw things that I said, wow, huh, hmm, mm. And I wasn't quite ready to deal with it.
Mhm.
And then I would come back, and the Lord would just open me up a little more, and I saw more, and I grew strength. I grew stronger. I grew wiser,
Mhm.
and I saw things totally different. So yes, um, it was definitely one aspect of self care, emotional self care for me.
I can certainly see that, and I understand, and that's something to be proud of when you can look at the things that you've gone through and to recognize now in sharing your voice with the world you are allowing someone else to hear those things and to envision what you've gone through and to
Mm-hmm.
share so that they can also be empowered. Do you really think that or believe that society can put too much pressure on, especially women, to maintain their look? And if
Mm-hmm.
so, how do we break free from that and realizing where our real beauty lies within?
And society does. And because we want to be accepted, we put that pressure on us. We say to ourselves, I can't dare go out of the house looking a certain way, or I wouldn't dare go to church looking a certain way, or to go to an event looking a certain way.
Right.
But you fail to look at your dirty, dark, torn, broken heart that you're dragging with you everywhere you go. So if you put that same amount of pressure on healing yourself, then you can walk out of the house with a baseball cap on and still feel 100% beautiful. Um, I have learned that I'm not going to live up to anybody else's standards. I am going to be who I need to be so that I'm happy with who I am, because I'm tired of faking it. I faked it until I made it for a long time. I would put on the makeup, fix my hair, wear the most fabulous outfit. But I realized, again, through going through this
Process.
phase of cleaning out my closet,
Okay.
healing my heart, I realized that there were times the best I looked externally meant I was at my lowest point
Wow.
internally. So
Wow.
I would dress up even more to cover what I was feeling or what I was experiencing or the emotional drought that I was in. I dress up. So if you saw me really, really, really looking good, I was really, really, really down.
Wow.
So it became a camouflage.
Mm.
It was a facade. I was fake.
Well, I hear what you're saying because there's been times, even, and since you were my neighbor and that's how we met, that my mama told me, and mama didn't even wear makeup, but she said, girl, you better not go outside with no lipstick. At least put some lipstick on there. So rarely did you ever see me outside without at least some lipstick on. So I get what you're saying. And again, things that we're taught. But whether we realize it or not, what I heard you say, and I know that you're not the only one that felt that you had to put on this image so
Mm-hmm.
that no one could really see the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also heard it said, um, a lot of people will look at us, I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
decide who we are based on what they see. They
Mm-hmm.
have no idea.
You have no idea.
They have no idea.
No
And what's
idea.
worse about that is we've done them an injustice
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because one of my friends said to me, or maybe I read it, I don't know, but it says, when you have the audacity to
Mm-hmm.
be your genuine self,
Mm-hmm.
whether you know it or not, because there are definitely people watching.
All the time.
But when you show up and you have the audacity
Mm-hmm.
to be your genuine self, you're
Mm-hmm.
actually providing permission for everyone who sees you to do the same.
Exactly.
And
I,
that's
I can
powerful.
I'm gonna give you an example. I was sitting in church. This was many, many, many years ago, singing on the choir. Many, many, many years ago. And I was sitting beside a young lady, and I could sense. I know that I, something wasn't right. I could just sense it. I could feel it. And before the service was over, we were in a revival. The preacher had preached. We were in a revival. The preacher was done. She left out. And I said, something's not right. So I went out behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe she had gone to the bathroom. So I turned to look to see if she had gone to the bathroom, and I heard the door shut. She had walked out of the church. So I went behind her and I said, hey, sis, is everything okay? What's going on? She said, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm just going home. I said, oh, wow. Are you okay? I just feel like you're not okay. You're not your normal self. I see you smiling, but you're not okay. And she just broke down and started crying. And I said, wow, what is really going on? She just says, I'm just tired. She just kept saying, I'm tired. I'm tired. Now, this woman was dressed up, looked fabulous. Everything about her was like, ooh, she's got it all together. Drives a nice Mercedes, anything everybody would want.
Mm-hmm.
She was going home to commit suicide so that her husband would find her when he came home. Right. Made up, pretty, but ready to die.
Wow.
Because she had reached the point where she was emotionally done with life. And so when you say, so many times people look at you and they judge you, I know at least 100 people listening to this can remember the times that somebody said to them, "You're nothing like what I thought," because they had this preconceived image and felt some kind of way about you based on what you looked like, based on what you drove, based on your job, based on your car, based on your clothes, but they have no idea who you are.
Well, the one thing that I am excited about, Eula, is that I know that your book will allow all of us to take pause and to consider what lies beyond the beauty. Because to your point of the story that you just told, we as children of God must pay attention to our brothers and sisters
Yes,
because we want to, and God bless you for having the audacity to follow the young lady and to offer her some levels of encouragement, because sometimes it's that one voice that's
that's
the
right.
difference in making a permanent decision about a temporary situation. And I've talked about that on the show quite a bit. So I'm excited about what you're doing, not only with the book, but in this part of your journey as you continue to use this particular platform to promote confidence, to promote the grace that God has given you to share with others, and to encourage anyone who may feel that they have to put on the facade to make it through whatever they may be facing. So God bless you for that. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that you are a proud member of the fabulous Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I know they'll be proud of you as well. There's a big celebration yet to come. But for those who want to get a copy of Beyond the Beauty, tell us how they can get one.
You may visit my website, beyondthebeauty.com, or Facebook,
Okay.
beyondthebeauty.com, or Instagram, Beyond the Beauty Global. My website is under construction. It's global, Beyond the Beauty.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, gobeyondthebeauty.com. So
All
hold
right.
off on that. We're going to launch that on August the 2nd, and you'll be
Okay.
able to visit my website, gobeyondthebeauty.com, and purchase your book and some other fantastic things that will be in the website. But right now, go to our Facebook page, Beyond the Beauty, and purchase your book. It's
Awesome.
also available on Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon has gone live, so it's also available on Amazon.
Fantastic. I can't wait. I know that we're going to be celebrating a fabulous birthday and talking more about Beyond the Beauty, but I encourage you to make sure that you get your own copy. Be blessed by the words of this book. Be blessed by how Eula has taken what was some might think of as tragedy or a setback, and how she's let it be a setup for what God has for her and for all of us. Eula, we thank you so much. And for all of you that are listening, you know I have to remind you that we're taking every moment to let the rest of our life be the best of our life. And we recognize, even in this conversation, that we are more alike than we are different. So no matter what you have going on, as you continue forward, you remember to put your best foot forward. You are a child of the Most High, and He don't make no junk. Until next time, thank you for being with us today, and God bless.